Insecurity in Madaraka Estate. What I am going to say happened 7 years ago. Things may have changed. I hope for the better. One good thing that has happened is that the whole estate is covered under CCTV. But we can't erase the past, can we? There is this incident that happened. In Madaraka, we have several courts. The courts were given names so as you can know, you can quickly reach where you want. When I was growing up in Madaraka, houses used to have numbers from MF. MF stands for Madaraka Flats, MF1 to MF46. So if you ask somebody where is MF1, you just know. But then there were these infill houses that confuses somebody. You cannot know which house is where. So each parking was given a court name. The first incident, I want to talk about this court that is named after a church. This court is next to Madaraka Primary School, and there is a church there. I've forgotten the name of the church. Actually, the court is named after that church. There was a time that 2018, what happened was that there is a DJ. There's a DJ who had converted his house as a studio, a recording studio. So one day he was in the parking lot and somebody just came out of nowhere with a pistol. Told him, can we enter into your house, which is also studio? They entered. It was a robbery. But you see, it is a studio. Being a studio, there are young men and women who come to record, who come for recording. So these young men, and they came into the house. Oh, yo, 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 yo. And found things. They say, yo, 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 so. Say, I have no idea how they do it. And then they found a robbery in process. The robber ran away. When he ran away, he dropped the pistol in the process. He dropped a pistol in the process. When he dropped the pistol in the process, he dropped a pistol in the process. When he dropped the pistol in the process, police were called. They checked the place, fingerprints, everything what they do, and then took away the pistol. The following day, the DJ got a phone call from somebody who told him, please don't report that issue to the police. Keep the pistol for me. I will come later to collect. No more said. You mean somebody, a random robber, knows even your number and even calls the following day to tell you not to report to police and keep it, is coming to collect? More than meets the eye. Then within the same court, there was a gentleman who lost his wife. They were a young couple. Then the chairman, you see, I was coordinating. I'm talking about security in Madaraka because I was coordinating security there. And I want to say from the onset that the few occasions I'm giving may even represent less than 5% of crimes in Madaraka at that time. But then the other crime were just ordinary criminal issues, which has always been there. But these are unique crimes that I wanted to share with my viewers. So I'm back to the story about the young man who lost his wife. Suddenly, the chairman of the court called me. I went there, and he told me that, you know where they're having a funeral? Vigil? I said, yes. There are some things which are lost. I asked him what was lost. He said, I don't know. I went to the watchman at the gate. Do you know that things was stolen in the house? First of all, in as a security expert, I would say a place where there is a public gathering, such as a birthday, a graduation, an anniversary, wedding anniversary, or even a funeral. It is very easy for things to be lost, even things such as watches, mobile phones, etc., etc. It is very easy for such things to be lost. So I went and asked the watchman if he's aware. He said he was hearing it from me. Went back to the chairman. I asked him, uh, who is the contact person? Whom can I contact so that I know what was stolen, and then I initiate investigations? He said he does not know. I know most of you will think this is fiction. That is why I said that the court is next to a church and next to Madaraka Primary School, and the court is named after the church. He said he does not know the contact person. I have to check on. The fellow who had lost his wife was from the western part of Kenya. Western part of Kenya is can be a Kisii, can be a Luo, can be a Luhya, isn't it? Now, bodies are taken out of the mortuary on Thursday to be buried on Saturday, and people come back on Sunday, but immediate family members stay behind for some time. So when the fellow had buried his wife and came back, I asked the court chairman. That was now about a month after it was reported that unknown things were stolen from that place, and I didn't know whom to. So I asked for permission from the chairman to go and talk to the bereaved, the man who lost his wife, the young man who lost his wife. See if we can establish what was stolen. Because in police say this. One reason of reporting is not that, okay, the most important reason for reporting a theft is to recover it, but also it assists in future crime mapping, and criminology action. So when these fellows had come back from the funeral, I wanted to go and talk to the person to know what was stolen and establish ABCD. The chairman was against it. I asked why. He said the reason is that the man is so stressed with the death of his wife that informing him that some things have been stolen from his house would bring more stress to him. So some things have been stolen from his house. Even he himself doesn't know. And the chairman insists that there was a theft there. Enough said. Then we go to another court. This court is MF 23 to MF 25. Each court has 4 flats, but MF 23, 24, and 25, there are 3 because of the geographical layout of that place. No, it is MF 23 to 26. Yeah, MF 23, 24, 25, and 26. But then there is another MF behind it with three flats because of the geographical layout. We had a problem. First of all, the problem in all the estate was one. Madaraka people, being an upper middle class, being lucky to be an upper middle class, which is very near the CBD, people, if I have to be very frank about my feelings of the resident there, the residents used to, 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 to wonder why they should pay for security. Why they should pay for security. That thing used to be there. Even those who paid agreed amount and paid on time, they used to be concerned, why should we pay for security? Security should be free. Well, police security should be free, but private security should be paid for. Who is going to pay for those watchmen? We had very many people found it hard to contribute money towards the paying of it. But when there was an incident of crime, when there was an incident of crime where a watchman would be beaten badly, then you'd find people praising my guards, coming to say it, and then they would look at records and ask how many months they have not paid. I would tell them that you see, these are the people whenever they stayed for several months without a criminal incident, then they would start wondering, why should a peaceful place be guarded? But once an incident, people try to enter a court by force and they fight off the watchmen. That is when you'd find somebody with several months not having paid and paying all of it on the spot. Now, when he pays all of it on spot, it is a challenge because I have to get some extra guards to replace those ones who are hurt. So you find that the one who is hurt, you don't know when he will recover. That one is determined by the medical facility he visits. Now, for those days that he's sick, he will get his salary as per normal. The fellow who is coming to act in his place gets slightly big amount because he's there on a contract. His colleague gets cured, he goes. And third and last, I told you that the one who was hurt would be away as long as the medical personnel would say. And for him to go to the medical personnel, it is me who has to pay. It's for me who has to pay for that medication. Not just the medication. I used to visit them in Kibra. I would visit them with a few presents and whatever. But as an NIS fellow, the visits were not. They used to say that these are very good boss who even go to our slums to see. But I'm seeing the condition of the person. We have so many good actors that they know that you are there for 1 hour and he would be very sick that time. If the number goes to a certain level, I would tell the person, your medical condition does not allow you to work for us. Allow us to replace you. You find somebody who was very sick, suddenly an upon. So those are the challenges of running security in a place like Madaraka Estate. Not just Madaraka, but a place like Madaraka Estate. So I was at the MF25. Uh, I don't want to mention the house number, but there was a lady who produced a diploma in criminology. She said she cannot be compelled to pay for security. Yeah. She said she was not to be compelled to pay for security. Okay, I'll repeat that, but before I repeat that, I would say there was also a problem we used to have. We used to have a problem that we could guard a court, we could guard a court, and some people refused to pay, like her, and other people, they even, you see, we had people who stayed in their own house. They bought those houses. Those are the people whom I grew up with them when we were in primary. So they would tell me, how comes that when with Madaraka Estate, we call it Mada. How comes that Mada, which has been there since early 70s, there are no crimes? Why should we have security in such places? We have some residents who had hired, who had rented out the houses. When they had rented the houses, in their tenancy agreement, they said that the compound is under security 24/7. So you find a tenant showing you the agreement saying, when we were negotiating rent, we negotiated knowing that the place is under 24 hours security place. So why should we pay security twice? That is what they used to say. And when you go to the landlords themselves, they say, why should they ask uh, for security money from me? After all, when the Wakoras come, they'll come for the properties of the people who stay there, or they would even come for the people themselves. So why are you asking me for that? Ask the residents. So we used to have that. And that is why I've even remembered when I talked about this lady who produced a diploma in criminology and said she could not be compelled to pay for security. Where one day she went to the chairman of the court. He's now deceased. She went to the chairman of the court uh, and reported that her husband's car was stolen at night. Now, we used to tell guards this way to take note of those people who don't pay for security and not be opening for them. You know, opening the gate even when it is raining. Let them just open and close at their own. Or if they leave it unclosed, uh, just that let them have that confrontation so that it may convince them to pay. Uh, Another problem we had is some people refused to pay, but they would use our guards to wash their vehicles at night. So this guard would be conflicted. If you tell them how 6 or so houses don't pay for security, even if it is raining, don't open. They'll tell you yes, but you'd find a complaint that we who pay for security, the guard is concentrating on washing vehicles for those who don't pay for security. So this is one of the people who refused to pay for security. Then one day she reported to the chairman of the court that her husband's car was stolen. Now, I did not know. When the chairman was calling me, he had placed the phone on speakerphone. So he said, do you know house number MF25 door, blah, blah. I said, yes. Uh, the lady's husband, the vehicle has been stolen. And I asked him, is it that lady who has refused to pay for security? Then the chairman said, no, you are talking badly. And he cut off. There is also something unfortunate about police officers, or even though I'm a former police officer. Such a report goes to the police station, and you see them placing our guards in the cells, saying that we had set we planned for the theft so that we encourage other people to be paying. But the two guards said that two vehicles came in a convoy. Her husband's vehicle was ahead, and another vehicle was following, and they were around 3 a.m. They were traveling at a slow pace. They parked side by side, and then her husband, even without communicating to those people or anything, just left and went to his house. Then two men left the second vehicle and entered her husband's car, and they left. There was no breaking into the vehicle. There was nothing. These are just two vehicles that came together. These are two vehicles that left together. Nobody has ever, to date, nobody has ever explained why the husband didn't report to the chairman. But all they wanted was to go to the police station, Nyayo Stadium police station, make a report, get an OB number. Because I remember even at the police station, they wanted to arrest those two guards, saying that the two guards were either planned it or they didn't guard properly the way they are supposed to guard. But they insisted that they only wanted the OB number to take it to the insurance company. There is a court that is next to the university, Strathmore University. It's a new court beyond MF 46. The husband was in Arusha for a conference. And a few months before the husband went to Arusha for the conference, they used to have, we later came to learn. You see, some of this problem is we have a problem. There is tension, there is anything, you are chased away, you are abused, nyinyi waizi wa magari, such and such a thing. But after 2 to 3 months, the truth comes out, but the damage has already been done. So we later came to learn that they had a vehicle which they were paying on hire purchase, but a few months before the so-called theft occurred, they had been pursued. The car owners had pursued them, demanding that they were late on payment. They were late on payment. So here is a couple with a vehicle where the people selling them are pushing them to update their payment. Then the husband is in Arusha, Tanzania. In Arusha, Tanzania. Then on the day that the vehicle disappeared, the wife was left her place of work where she left 30 minutes earlier, 4:30 p.m. instead of 5, which the guards in her place of work found a bit odd because they'd never seen her leave her place of work earlier. Actually, it was even harder for her to leave on exact time. You see, at the exact time 5, there is usually, what do you call? There is usually people going to a mob. I mean, at the gate, there is a traffic jam. So she is the type who used to wait a bit for the traffic jam at the gate to clear so that she would leave. But this time she left 30 minutes earlier. Then she stopped at the gate. She got out of the vehicle for the purpose of the CCTV in her place of work to see her. She then asked the guards, for the first time, she never did it before, but that time she asked the guard what time it was. They told her. So they told her the time. So they were wondering why the strange thing. She usually left after the traffic jam of people leaving her place. This time she left early. That was the first and the only time that she came out of the vehicle. She even engaged the guards at her place of work to verify the time she was leaving. Then she went to Madaraka Estate, gets the day guard. She gets the day guards. She insists on entering, not only being entered, but even the time of arrival being placed in the book at the gate. She doesn't park at her ordinary slot, but parks near her house. You may find that some houses, especially Madaraka new houses, the parking lots were given, and each house you'd find that this is a parking lot of the certain house, certain house, certain house. So she parked at a certain place, which which was for somebody else who had no vehicle. All those years, she never parked her vehicle. All those years, she never parked her vehicle anywhere else apart from her. But this time, she went and parked in a parking lot over a house that had no vehicle. Later on, a vehicle bearing Uganda number plates came and said it had mechanical problems. It is unfortunate or whatever, because when we train guards, we try to tell them that you have to be very specific with particulars. Please take particulars, don't leave out even a detail. But for this time, they forgot to even write the Ugandan number plates. And then the Ugandan vehicle parked at her place. She usually parks at the place indicating her house, but this time she went to park at a place where the person has no vehicle. Then, coincidentally, a vehicle comes with a Uganda number plate. They park there, say they are going to look for a mechanic, and then the driver goes straight. The driver goes straight to her house. Not that the house is just next to each other, no. The parking lot is somewhere, so you have to meander around so as to get the house. The day guard found this to be very odd. The day guard found this to be very odd. So what did he do? The day guard found it to be odd, and he followed the fellow from a distance. The fellow went to her house, a man, but did not enter the house. After ringing the bell, the lady opened it a bit ajar, and they talked for over 15 minutes. That the guard had they got just is it a sixth or seventh sense that made him just follow that. So you can see the coincidence there. The night guard who took off from the day guard did not explain how the two vehicles left the court. Later on in the due course of the night, the two vehicles, the lady's vehicle and the Ugandan number plate vehicle, both left somewhere at night, and it was not recorded, so we don't know where it was. And then they went there and reported that the vehicle had been stolen. If you add two and two, you'll find that what had happened was that the husband was in Arusha, just not far from Nairobi. So the vehicle was stolen at night, driven over to Tanzania, sold, and the fellow would come here and claim that it had been stolen. Hitting three stones, it's hitting three birds with one stone. Then there is also another case where, in the court that I grew up from primary and secondary school. Someone, you see, each court had officials. So someone canvasses and replaces the chairman. So he himself becomes the new chairman. When he becomes the new chairman, he he calls aside the two guards, the two night guards, and tells them that he has several vehicles, and most of the vehicles, you see, when in a home setting, there are some things which happen which you don't look for them, but which you don't know. What later came to be known is that the new chairman, court chairman, was among these people called loan by logbook. Loan by logbook. So he had parked several vehicles there without number plates. Without number plates. So it is only the watchman who knew it and he himself. Now, even residents did not notice that. And there was one day when one of the guards didn't come. It was guarded by one instead of two. And the other guard was a reliever. So, and we have these people who don't talk much. We have these people who don't talk much. These are, we have them everywhere. So one guard was not there, and the reliever came, who does not talk much. And then the one he was to work with didn't come. We waited until, you see, you can wait until 8 or 9 and know that the other one is not coming. So you tell the other one, you're on your own. Please don't tell don't tell any resident, and don't tell anybody. Let it be that way. The following day, the guard was bruised, and he said that people came. You see, the crooks came and knew that in that compound it is guarded by 2 guards. There are usually 2 guards, and they were wondering where the other guard was. But this one, since he was a dumb fellow, they were beating him up. They wanted to tell him. They thought that it was a trick where one guard is overt and another one is covert. So they were beating him up to disclose where the other guard was. And when he was telling them that today I'm alone, they could not believe it, and they would beat him a lot. After beating for some time, they just left him because they thought that maybe another guard is monitoring them, and they may even have called backup. So he told us, and we were, and they said they were talking about themselves and said, no, we'll come another day. And even the police from Langata were concerned, saying that it can't happen. The DCI from Langata were concerned that how can somebody try to steal and then say, I'll come another day? Later on, they came and took away a vehicle. Now, what they were doing is that this fellow, once you take a car loan, there was a way that maybe you are not paying or anything, he would confiscate your car and place it in that parking and then remove the number plate. So these people used to monitor the day when the number plate would be returned. So that once the number plate has been returned, then they would take their vehicle. And that is how those people, that is how I used to handle that place. I would say that maybe Madaraka has changed or anything, but Madaraka of 2018, as you have seen in the last within this recording, find that those people were crooks themselves. There is no bad crook like an upper middle class crook. Thank you.